Are you ready to sculpt your waist? Join me for an at-home, no equipment abs workout. Hi everyone, it's me Reed and welcome back to Atlantis Fitness and Pilates. As always, timestamps will be in the description below, and if you enjoy these free workouts, be sure to subscribe for more. Now, let's get started. For today's workout, all that you'll need is some floor space. So, once you find where you're going to work out at, let's make your way down onto your backs. And we're going to start by first setting our pelvis for this first exercise. So I want you to bring your feet in, and we're going to lift our hips up into a little bit of a bridge. And I want you to think about tucking your tailbone towards your heels and then laying your low back down onto your mat. So we want to keep that connection of our low back pressed down into our mat the entire time for this exercise. Think also about pulling those front ribs in. From here, we're going to bring our arms down by our side. We're going to float both knees over the hips at 90 degrees. And we're going to take both hands up to the ceiling. On your inhale, we're going to reach down with our toes and try to tap the floor and then pick our knee back up. Now again, the entire time we're pressing our low back into our mat or into the floor. One more. And all the way down. You can let your feet rest down for a minute. A little rock of the knees side to side after those toe taps. So from there, again, we're going to set up our hips again. So step those feet in, lift the hips just enough to again tuck and press the low back down. Press those hips and pull the front ribs down. We're going to come into our dead bug series here. So again, arms up to the ceiling, knees are going to float over the hips at tabletop, or you can modify by bringing the knees a little bit higher in line with your belly button. From here, we're again going to toe tap down. Our left toes are going to come down at the same time. Our right arm is going to come up overhead. Big exhale to return everything back up. So opposite limbs, reach out and pull back together. Last one. Again, all the way down. You can give those knees a little rock side to side. If you're feeling this at all in your low back, I want you to stay with that last one that we did, and you might even shorten your movement. Maybe you don't reach down and actually touch, you just hover and then pull back in. So keeping this in your core. All right, so our last variation of this, we're gonna do that same setup, little lift, anchor that pelvis and low back down, pull those ribs down so that we're not flaring out and arching here. Arms back up to the ceiling, knees back over the hips to start. From here, we're gonna extend our leg out straight as we reach our arm up and then pull it back over our hip. Same thing, switching sides, alternate arm, alternate leg. 2 more each side. One more. And all the way down. And again, little rock of the knees, side to side here. So from here, what we're gonna do is we're gonna make our way onto your side. I want your elbow right underneath your shoulder. We're gonna come into a side plank here. We're gonna do these side planks kneeling today, so we're not only getting into our obliques, but we're also working into our hips. Again, elbow down under your shoulder, knees bent at 90 degrees in front of you slightly. On your exhale, big lift up. You can keep the knees together, or a more advanced version is we're gonna lift our top knee up. Instead of focusing on time, I want you to focus on your breathing. Big belly breath in. On that exhale, squeeze that core in, pull those front ribs in. Three more, just like that. One more. And all the way down. So we'll switch to our opposite side. We're gonna do the same thing. Again, elbow underneath your shoulder to start. Make sure you're pressing down through that elbow. Knees bent to 90 degrees and just slightly in front of the hips. When you're ready, big inhale, lift up. Low exhale out. Come all the way down. All right. So from here, we're going to turn back onto our back, but we're not actually going to lie all the way down. I want you to lie back onto your elbows if you can. So we're going to open the chest, press down through those elbows, and again, lift the chest up towards the ceiling. From here, we're going to press down through our hands, squeeze our inner thighs together. We're going to lift our legs up to the ceiling as high as you can, then slowly lower all the way down. And you could lower all the way, or on your inhale down, you could pause at a hover instead. Two more. Last one. And slowly lower down. We can come all the way up. And just for a quick second, because sometimes that can get into the hip flexors there, we're going to come into just a little bit of a butterfly. It's also a good stretch for our low back if you've been feeling your low back at all. And as we go through these, we're about to go through another round. I want you to really focus on the breathing. Again, think big belly breath in initially, and on that exhale, as we exhale out, you want to breathe in and out sideways through your hips. Think of almost like you're expanding your low back on your inhale, and then exhale, squeezing in, creating that little cinch in the waist. So again, we'll go back into our side plank. On that first side, I started on my right, so I'm back, right elbow underneath my shoulder, knees bent. On your inhale, big lift. And exhale again, cinch that waist in. last one. Lower down nice and slow, and then switching sides. And elbow down, actively press through that elbow so we're engaging into our side body. When you're ready, big inhale up. And all the way down. All right, so again, rolling back towards our back, elbows down, roughly under our shoulders, hands down by your side. I'm not tucking my fingertips underneath my hips. My hands or my fingertips are out to the sides of my hips here. Lift up through that chest, squeeze those shoulder blades, squeeze the inner thighs. Big exhale, lift. Inhale, lower. Three more. 3. One more, you got it. And all the way down, nice and slow again. You can sit forward into that little butterfly position here if that feels good to you. Stretch the legs out and do a little forward fold that way. All right, we have one more. Again, we'll go back into that side plank. Focus on your breaths. Rather than focusing on time, I want you focused on good quality breathing while we're in this exercise. So if you want to add a few breaths, you can to make it harder, or if you need to go down a few breaths, you can. Get into your position. Get big inhale, lift up. One more. Nice and slow on the way down. Switch sides. Again. Elbow down, knees slightly in front of the hips to start. When you're ready, big inhale, lift. Last side here. All the way down. All right, one more time to our backs here. Elbows down under the shoulders, legs nice and long. Lift up through that chest. Squeeze those shoulder blades together. On that exhale, lift those legs up and lower down. Think about scooping those low abs, tucking that pelvis under. One more. And nice and slow all the way down. Again, you could go into a forward fold here. Stretch out through those hips and into the low back if you need a little stretch here. So we're gonna finish off today at around on our belly, doing some planks and some back extensions. So let's flip around, and again, we're gonna start by going into a plank first. So I want you on hands and knees, and we're gonna take our hands just slightly wider, about half a hand wider than we were. I want you to spin the pits of your elbows forward. From here, we're gonna step our feet back, squeeze your glutes and legs in, and again, we're gonna hold here for 5 breaths. Nice big inhale into that belly. And think on the exhale, widening your low back. Slowly, you can lower all the way down if you need to. Bend the knees, little rock of the knees side to side. So from here, we're gonna go into some back extension. I want you to start with your forehead down onto your mat, hands back by your side, palms down by your hips. We're just gonna be lifting our upper body. So I want you to press down through the pelvis, squeeze those legs, and on your inhale, we're gonna lift up, keeping our chin tucked in, not thrusting our chin forward. Again, just holding here. 5 breaths. And all the way down, nice and slow. Again, you could give the hips a little rock side to side, or bend the knees and rock the knees side to side. So again, if you're feeling a lot of pain, maybe don't come up quite as high. But also remember, even though we're lifting, we're still engaging our core. We're not just relaxing our core and crunching our low back. We're gonna lift and think about growing our spine forward and up to lengthen through that spine. So I'm gonna come back into our plank position. Again, hands just slightly wider than shoulder width. Bend the pit of the elbow forward, step the feet back, squeeze into those glutes and legs. 5 breaths here. Start to make your way down. Again, you could do a little rock of the knees side to side if you need. And then from here, we're gonna go back into our spinal extension. So squeeze those legs, press down through the tops of the feet, press down through the hands. Inhale, lift up. And we can hold here, or if you wanna add a little lift to the arms this time, you can. And all the way down. Again, you could do a little rock of the knees side to side. We have one more round of that before we go into just a little bit of stretching. So push back up. Again, coming into your plank position. I always like starting from this 4-point position so I can get my hands just a little bit outside my shoulders here. Bend the pits of those elbows forward, step the feet back. We're gonna hold here. Again, setting up a nice strong plank position sets you up for success holding it. your way down. All right, so we're gonna come into the last of our spinal extensions here. So again, when you're ready, press down through the tops of those feet, squeeze into those quads, squeeze those glutes. Big inhale to lift, and exhale, hold. And release all the way down. Again, little rock of those knees, side to side there. Now let's make your way up to seated. And again, we're gonna come to seated with that butterfly foot position. So bottoms of the feet together, knees opened out. Give yourself some space here. You don't want the feet super close here. We wanna think about stretching our low back a little bit more. Grab the ankles, big inhale, nice tall spine. And a little forward fold here. One more breath. And let's come up to seated. Sit cross-legged. We're just gonna stretch into our side body. So right hand down, left hand out. Big inhale here. On that exhale, lean to your right, reaching overhead. You can stay here. Maybe you can bring your elbow all the way down. Going into a little bit deeper stretch. Carefully press ourselves back up to seated. Bring that left hand down by your side, right arm reaches out, big inhale. And again, on that exhale, we're gonna lean over and reach over. And make your way back up. All right, if you enjoyed this workout and you'd like to do some more at-home, no equipment workouts, try this workout here. And if you'd like to join a community of people who are working on similar goals of getting fit and losing weight, I'm in the process of building this. And if you'd like to be one of the founding members, go to the link in the description of this video and sign up there. Until next time, just keep moving. Bye for now.